But don't worry, I know what you're thinking. It's okay. I took a rat test before I got the flight. Took one above Adelaide. And took one just before I landed in your beautiful country. State, country. Either way. Country, you're right. So it's my absolute privilege to welcome you all this evening to the celebration of life, because let's be honest, we don't get together often enough to just celebrate the fact that we're all here, we're living, having a great time, and what better occasion than to celebrate tonight's joint 120th birthday. Yeah. Now Blanche, of course, has just turned 21, which 99, 20. Only one more year to the letter from the King. But I think it's also a great opportunity to just stop and reflect and remember those who have passed already and who could not be here this evening, and to absent friends. Let's be honest, we've all got far too many of those today. I know that Steve and Blanche have been touched by these tragedies in years gone by, and so let's just raise a glass to those who could not be here this evening and move our rounds this evening. To absent friends. And so Steve gave me a call about 2 weeks ago. It was on some mountain somewhere in Austria. Bianca was taking far too long to get her snowboard into the car, and it was noisy and it was crazy. Hey Clarke, mate, do you mind if you just, can you kick off the evening and just say a few words, you know, what's going to happen, proceedings, all the rest of it, and perhaps just say a few nice things about us. All right, no worries, can do. Very easy when it comes to Blanche, anyway. Come over here. Have you ever met a more family-orientated, a more selfless, a more hospitable woman than Blanche? This is somebody who always eats last, who only gets her happiness from other people's happiness. And I think that these traits are what I think of when I think about you. I think that you've all been subject to Blanche's hospitality over the years, and this is when these traits come out. As soon as you're even thinking about being hungry, you're given 3 or 4 options. And they're always great. Some of them are featuring over here this evening as well. And don't even think about walking out with a half-full glass either. So good luck to those who are driving this evening. But it's this generosity that has actually sparked a brand new game that we play in our family as well, which is called Beat Blanche to the FPOS machine. She's got the quickest credit card in the West. Whenever you're around Blanche and she thinks she needs a hospital, she's always trying to make sure that she's covering everything for you. I think that this really came to a head when we had a pretty good head-to-head battle just about 3 days ago.
Do you want to get up front?
Down in Busselton buying fish and chips. And the little buzzer went off and it was my turn to go and get the fish and chips. And I looked at her and she looked at me and I knew what she was thinking. She said, I'm gonna bloody beat him to make these. So off we took. There was a racing line. I've seen a few racing programs in my time, so I knew what the racing line looked like. There was a corner just before the FPOS machine. So I took the racing line, gave her a quick hip and shoulder, and got to the FPOS machine, dived, and got my credit card over and paid $35 for dinner. But that's just the way it is with Blanche. And so 1972 was the year that Blanche was born. A few facts about that year. A can of Coke would have cost you 10 cents. East Perth won the waffle that year. Yeah, very good. And the number 1 song in 1972, any guesses? ABBA? No. It was Don McLean's classic American Pie. There you go. Yeah. But that's where the niceties ended, because then I had to move on to Steve. So, a quick little story. It's an inclusive story that I'm hardly mostly listening to the married men in the audience, because you all know how this goes. You meet a girl, you fall in love, eventually you end up with a fiancé. And that's when the comparisons start to the father-in-law. Oh, we'll just wait till Dad comes over to Melbourne. Look at me. I've got to wait till your dad comes over to fix it. You know, athletically, you run a 2-hour 30 marathon. Good luck with that. Intellectually, he has more years of study than I have years of age. From a handyman perspective, he built his own house. What am I supposed to do with this? But there was one thing that I just recently learned that I've got over Steve, and I don't think he's ever going to pick it up back off me again. As a long-suffering Melbourne Demons supporter, I've got a lot to thank Perthonians about, given that we picked up a premiership here in 2021 at the Optus Stadium. We waited 57 years for that premiership. Now, Fremantle will be in the competition for about 20 years or so. 26? Yeah, anyway, I can't see them winning one in the next 30 years. So I feel like that's where it's going to end. But when I think about Steve, I think about two words, and those two words are, the main word really, charisma, but also connection. Steve is just as comfortable delivering expert witness advice expert opinion in the witness box as he is to advising governments on public health. Just as he is to helping my little 3-year-old girl a few days ago search for bunny rabbits on the beach in Busselton. And it's this ability to connect with people of all walks of life, no matter who you are, where you're from, what your status is, Steve will find a connection with you, and I just think that's really, really special. And that's something that I think about when I think about you. But that's where the niceties end, because just like I found out some research on 1972, I tried to find your birth year and my mathematics wasn't that good. It just kept on going and going and I had to stop in the end. So I settled on an era. Spent some time at the West Australian Library here in Perth. And got out the microfiche and we went through that. So as it turns out, three facts about your era. So the world was in raptures as the Model T Ford first rolled off the assembly line. The #1 song that year was by an up-and-comer called Mozart, number 13. And the president that year was a young, scrappy and hungry